Hey guys, this is George with Firehouse Music, and this week we're gonna get 2 teaching videos in since I didn't get one last week. I apologize for that. So we're gonna move on to the very next thing from what we talked about earlier in the week, which is we talked about triads and their types, and now we're gonna look at how they work within the context of a key. And a key, the best way to think about a key is a set of chords that revolve around a tonal center. So that means that when you're playing something and you have that one chord that sounds like home, it sounds like the end, that is your tonal center. That's just a fancy word for like the final chord. Okay? So if you listen to any song, listen to the first chord and the last chord of the song, typically that's going to be your tonal center. More on that in future videos. So let's look at triads and how they work in the context of a key. If we take, once again, I like the C scale because it's easy to understand. There's no accidentals, no sharps, no flats. So we're going to use that as our foundation. So if we look at the key of C here, we have C, D, E, F, G, A, B. And we build chords on top of that. What we're going to end up with is a set of chords, right? Those are the chords in the key. Is that also called diatonic? What am I doing? Is that also called diatonic triads? Because they belong to the key. Okay, so if we look at those triads, notice that all the notes belong to the key, obviously, since we're using a key signature and we're not adding anything to them. So these are made exclusively with the notes of the C major scale. So this is the key of C major. Now the chords are going to take the name of their the root note, or the lowest note in this case. So just like you have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, the chords are going to be C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Now the type of chord that's going to be dictated by, again, the different intervals. And I'm not going to spend time analyzing this. I'm just going to tell you what they are. Because it's actually very easy to just memorize them. So that way you'll see the utility when I'm done with them. So the first chord is going to be major, because we're in a major key. And we're building on the first note, the tonic. Our second chord is going to be minor.
So I guess there are 2.
The third chord is minor. The fourth chord is major. The fifth chord, the triad, is major. When we'll talk about seventh chords, we'll talk more about that fifth chord, but for now let's just say that it's major. So major triad. The sixth chord is minor. And our seventh chord is going to be diminished. Again, when we talk about seventh chords, that's going to be a little bit different. But for now, we're talking about just triads, so we'll keep it that way. So the easiest way to memorize this is to know that 1, 4, and 5 are major. 7 is going to be diminished. And everything else is minor. So just think about that. 1, 4, 5 is major. 7 is diminished. And everything else is minor. That's very easy to remember. Just repeat that a few times, and then it doesn't matter. Like, I can just name, the third chord in a major key. And, well, is it 1, 4, or 5? No. Is it the seventh? No. So what is it? It's minor. So it makes it very easy to remember and memorize this stuff. If you're going through music school and you're dealing with this kind of stuff, guys, use this. It's a really good mnemonic. It'll keep your grades up. And if you're not, if you're just a musician and you're trying to wrap your hand around this stuff, I don't know, my students come in asking me about this. It's actually very simple, and a lot of the stuff out there tends to overcomplicate things for the sake of making it sound real academic and stuff like that. But It's not music. It's not hard. It's you just gotta understand it a little bit, and then everything makes sense. So again, as long as we know the key signature, and look at one of the past videos, I forget which one it was, but there was one where we talked about key signature. I mean, maybe the one about the major scale. Look at the key signatures, and as long as you are in the key signature, you are safe. You'll be able to write chords in a major key. Minor keys are another story. And those minor keys, minor chords, that explanation is long enough that warrants a different video. So we'll explain those in a future video. Some of the coolest sounds come out of the minor keys. A lot of the awesome rock songs of the world come out in minor keys. So we'll just do that. We'll take a look at that in the future. So that's we're going to stop here. It's a lot of information, so make sure you study it. And as always, if you like the video and you think somebody else will need it, share it. Share it with your friends. And subscribe if you want to see more of this. And you can get a hold of me. You can ask me questions in the comments or send me an email. www.firehousemusic.net. And yeah, that's going to be it for today. So, I'll see you guys next time.